Now, this edition of TVC News at 10 features Flashback, and that's a recap of some stories that made headlines during this week. I am Precious Amayu. Now, let's start off with some developments in Kaduna State around security, where we understand that one person has died and several others injured following an explosion at the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria factory in the state. Now, the blast occurred at the factory's Ordinance disposal pit. Confirming the incident, Dicon's public relations officer, Maria Sambo, explained that the explosion happened while remnants of expired explosive materials were being destroyed. Initial reports suggested that 2 fatalities were recorded in the incident. The Defense Industries Corporation has assured nearby communities that the situation is under control, with remaining materials secured. They also say a board of inquiry has been established to investigate the cause of the accident. Meanwhile, the Defense Headquarters has confirmed the Ordnance explosion, stating that only 1 death was recorded, with injured victims receiving treatment at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has extended condolences to the families and friends of the deceased and wishes a swift recovery for those injured. In a statement by the Director of Defense Information, Tuko Gusau, the Defense Headquarters assured the public that the situation is under control and there is no cause for concern. Well, let's just get more on this very sad developments. Senior reporter Lupe Asom joins me now for more on this. Lupe, the Defense Headquarters confirming that development there. What more can you tell us at this moment?
Well, good evening, Precious. The immediate reaction to that explosion was that one of fear. Of course, Kaduna State in the past has had a history of explosions like this, so residents were quite disturbed, especially along the Kurmingwari area where where Dicon is located. But then later they found out that it was just the explosion was that of expired explosives which were being destroyed at the Ordinance disposal pit. Recall that the Nigerian defense industry, the Dicon, is a state-owned defense manufacturing company that has been supporting the Nigerian Armed Forces with the manufacturing of small arms, and they also produce small weapons, and they also evaluate and recommend ordnance materials. So it just happened that as these expired explosives were being destroyed, that the explosion took place. But the people who were injured have been taken to 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, where they are currently receiving medical attention. Some of them were taken to St. Gerard. And the Director General of Dicon, that's General Babajide Alaya, he said an inquiry is going to be set up to also look into the matter and see what exactly was the cause of this. So for now, we are still waiting to get the report of the investigations which have commenced.
And we understand, according to the confirmation from the Defense Headquarters, that 1 person died and not 2. What more do we know about the person that died?
Well, of course, they are yet to give the full details of the person who died, whether it was a civilian staff or it was a military staff. But initial fears were that the fatalities were 2, that at least 2 people died. But according to the authorities of Dicon, they said it was 1 person who sadly lost their life during that explosion. So we are still waiting for details to confirm whether it was actually a civilian staff or it was a military staff who sadly lost his life in that unfortunate incident. But we must let our viewers know that a couple of people are quite injured. Some of them, they are having varying degrees of injuries, and they are currently at the 44 Nigerian Army Hospital, where they are receiving medical attention.
And I know you mentioned earlier that the community was earlier concerned and probably apprehensive about what was going on. Has calm now been restored in the area?
Well, of course, they also had confirmations from some of the civilian staff who were part of those who evacuated, those who were injured. And it became clear to everybody that it was not just an explosion from an attack or maybe an invasion of that military facility. It was when people's fears were allayed when they discovered that it was an expired explosive. The reaction would have been different if they heard that maybe some group somewhere invaded that place and they tried to bomb the place and all of that. So the affairs were alleged. The people are quite at rest now, and they are just waiting to hear more from the investigations that will be carried out by the Defense Headquarters as directed by the Chief of Defense Staff.
Quite a really sad development. I guess one of the hazards our defense staff go through. Thank you so much for talking to us. Senior reporter Lupe Asom.